It was supposed to be just another quiet night, dinner, followed by some random movie neither of us truly cared about. The kind of evening you sink into when love has settled into something warm and familiar. At least, that's what I believed. She chuckled at something on her phone, the screen's soft glow lighting her face in the dim room. For the briefest moment, I caught a name flash across the screen, one I didn't recognize. A knot twisted in my stomach before I could even process it. She caught me looking, quickly turned her phone face down, and let out another laugh. "Nobody," she said lightly. "Just a friend." But when someone says nobody and hides their screen like it's burning in their hands, you don't need evidence. You already know. I tried to shake it off. I told myself to enjoy the evening, to pretend I hadn't just seen the first fracture in the life we'd built. Still, my mind wouldn't slow down. Her smile felt off. Was it forced? Her touch didn't linger the way it once did. And her eyes, they were somewhere far away. I didn't confront her that night. No yelling, no demand for explanations. Instead, I waited. I observed. I listened. And it didn't take long for the signs to multiply. She stayed up later, kept her phone locked, grinned at messages she didn't want me to see. I began to feel like a ghost haunting my own home, while she turned into a stranger wearing the face of the woman I once loved. Then, one night, I reached my breaking point. She was in the shower, steam fogging up the room, when her phone buzzed on the nightstand. I hadn't planned to look, I swear, but my hand seemed to move on its own, as though it already knew the truth my heart wasn't ready to face. There it was, the same name again. But now it wasn't just a few scattered messages. It was a flood, hundreds of texts, pictures, inside jokes, shared memories and whispered plans I was never a part of, intimate words and moments that once belonged to me, now given to someone else. This wasn't a meaningless slip. She hadn't simply betrayed me. She had been replacing me, piece by silent piece. I didn't wait for her to come out of the shower. I didn't need to hear excuses or rehearsed apologies. I went to the closet, packed a bag with only what I needed, and walked out. No note, no goodbye, no sound. She never expected I'd actually leave, but she didn't know me anymore. The days after were a blur. I checked into a cheap hotel, ignored every call and message. At first, she blew up my phone. "Where are you? Talk to me. This isn't fair. I can explain." But there was nothing left to explain. She had made her choice, and I had made mine. I blocked her number, deleted our photos, unfollowed every trace of her online. I tried to erase her from my life. But you can't truly erase someone you once loved. You just learn to turn down the volume on their memory. 2 weeks later, I signed a lease on a small apartment. It wasn't much, but it was mine. Slowly, I started breathing again. Still, some nights I'd wake up reaching for someone who wasn't there, a cool reflex I couldn't shake. But as time passed, the silence became comforting, and the ache stopped screaming. 6 months later, she found me. I was walking home from work, groceries in one hand, headphones in the other, when I turned the corner and saw her waiting outside my building. She looked smaller, not in size, but in spirit, as if guilt had been crushing her from the inside. "Hey," she said quietly, as if nothing had happened. I didn't answer. "Can we talk?" she asked. I should have kept walking. But maybe part of me wanted to hear the truth from her lips. Maybe I wanted to see if she would admit it. We ended up at a tiny cafe down the block, the kind of place I'd never taken her before, my new safe space. She stirred her coffee without drinking it, her hands trembling. "I never thought you'd actually leave," she murmured. That was her first mistake, thinking love made me weak. It hadn't. It had made me strong enough to walk away. She claimed it wasn't serious, that she'd been lost, that it was a mistake. But mistakes don't last for months. Mistakes don't greet you every morning with a secret text. Mistakes don't replace the person you share your bed with. She cried. She said she missed me. She told me her life hadn't been the same. And maybe I believed her. But regret doesn't undo betrayal. And guilt isn't love. "I don't need you to forgive me," she whispered. "I just wanted you to know I still think about us." I nodded slowly. For the first time in a long while, I felt nothing. No anger. No hurt. No longing. Only clarity. "You think about us," I said. But you didn't fight for us when it mattered. She didn't argue. She couldn't. She stood, waiting for me to say something more. But I'd already said all that mattered. I left her there at that table and walked back into my life, a life with no place for someone who once believed I'd stay no matter what. If someone shows you what you mean to them, believe them. Don't wait for closure. Don't cling to apologies that arrive too late. Sometimes, the strongest thing you can do is walk away when they least expect it, and never look back.